This is another week of setbacks, but whatever. I'm used to it. I need some boomer juice. Hold up. I'm sleepy right now. It's fucking late. I didn't sleep very much last night because I was working, as it were, working on handling DDoS attacks. Because, actually, first off, let me say a big thank you to everyone who actually bothers to find streams on weird shit like Rumble and Odyssey. I know it's not anybody's favorite. YouTube is integrated into your TV. You can press the TV button and say, TV, I would like to see the racism bit from my favorite streamer, the feeder, and then it automatically knows what the fuck that means, and then you're listening to it. You don't even have to lift your arm, and you get to watch whatever the fuck you want without any effort. And then, oh god, there's all these other platforms out there, and they suck. That's okay. And I can say they suck now because I'm pretty sure I've had somebody from Odyssey sneak dissing me in my comments because I used Gumroad over their payment system. And then I got an email from Locals, which is the Patreon from Rumble. And I told the guy, so I'm the Kiwifarms guy, and if I partner with you in any way, you're going to get a lot of flack. And they said, yeah, no problem. Let's talk. And then he goes to me 3 times. I've sent him 2 follow-up emails, and he's not replied. So I don't know if he like talked to somebody above him between then and now and just backed out or what, but it's like, okay. I see how it's going to be. That's why I don't get my hopes up with these things, which just sucks. It's like, this would be, I mean, it'd be really nice to actually have a reason to support like alt tech and shit. Such is life. So in case you don't know, I mentioned Sneed today is gone last week. That was seized by Donuts. This week, or on the weekend, immediately after my stream, there was another development. And at the exact same time, my YouTube account was banned. So I don't even get to really tell people what's happening. I have to like sneak out fucking messages wherever I possibly can. I'm thankful that Telegram is up, despite it being like mangled. I don't think you can view the Telegram from certain phones, and you can't view it like at all without being signed in. So I had to create like an archive site to get the fucking Telegram messages out. And then I sent Andrew Torba a message like, hey, people want me to post updates on Gab, but I lost access to my Kiwi Farms account because that's on an email account that I don't have access to anymore. Can you like let me back in? No reply from them whatsoever. I get like people just, I don't even get like dignified replies to my emails anymore. We're just like, no, we're shitting ourselves in fear. You are the Grim Reaper holding a fucking scythe, and you're tapping on the window of our front door with the tip of that scythe going, tick, 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 tick. Let me in. Let me in. And we don't want that. We want nothing to do. I don't even get a fucking email. Like people are like terrified of me. Just use Matrix. Matrix sucks. The fucking Matrix server is down. It gets canceled like everything else. In fact, I remember the Matrix was in such a sorry state that Crunklord basically had it locked down where you couldn't even get in. Nobody knows what the fuck Matrix is. The RAM consumption for Matrix, despite it being just another goddamn motherfucking Chromium app, is like 8 gigabytes to open a fucking a Discord. And Discord's the same thing. Discord's also Chromium, and it's not 8 gigabytes of RAM to open Matrix. Nobody fucking uses it. I've never heard anybody talk about Matrix in a positive way. Even Crunklord says it's soy dev. It's shit. So yeah, it's just irritating. And it sucks that when people do help us, they get slapped down for it. And here's the big thing that's changed. Okay. I found a provider willing to put us up in Washington. The issue is that he and his data center and his upstream do not have DDoS protection for layers 3 and 4. Just to very briefly remind you, there are multiple layers in the what's called the OSI schema or whatever the fuck. Layers 3 and 4 are network bandwidth level, basically, and level 7 is the application. When you say it's a level 3 or 4 attack, it just means there's so much bandwidth that there's not enough bandwidth on the fiber, like that port is overwhelmed. Application level DDoS attacks are something where it's like they craft requests so that it's not bandwidth based, it just tries to get the server to do too much, and then it can't respond to normal requests. So when I build like Kiwi Flare, that's a layer 7 DDoS protection, but layer 3 and 4 is trickier. You have to actually have the bandwidth, which costs lots of money. For instance, I've seen attacks on the Kiwi Farms that are layer 3 and 4, and they're over a terabit per second. And a terabit per second of bandwidth, it's something like $50,000 a month. If you want a 1 terabit per second port, you're gonna have to pay $50,000 just to handle the incoming traffic. And never mind the hardware to actually filter that. So it's a big deal. However, here's the caveat. DDoS attacks come from compromised servers. Compromised servers mostly come from Brazil, South Africa, China, basically industrializing countries. Most industrialized countries have mechanisms for dealing with compromised computers, not those countries. So older areas, industrializing areas, still have older computers that are IPv4 only. So there's IPv6, which is basically insulated from DDoS attacks in layer 3 and 4 because it only comes from industrialized countries like Japan and the US and Europe and so on. So if you can get IPv6 up, you basically don't have to worry about 3 and 4 DDoS protection because you're already automatically insulated from it just by the fact that the IPs are so new. So we get them to announce IPv6, and it goes through Hurricane Electric. That's the upstream. If you don't know, in the world of computing, Hurricane Electric is the internet backbone. Hurricane Electric has over 100 terabits per second of throughput. They have more peers than any other ISP. They have more fiber optic cable, I'm pretty sure, than any other ISP in the entire world. They are the internet backbone. Within 2 days of this IPv6 announcement going up and very silently being used on Sneed.today, nowhere else, it's not being used to broadcast the evil kiwifarms on .net, Hurricane Electric blocks our announcement, which means that the largest ISP, the most well-respected, one of the oldest ISPs in existence, their AS number, for instance, my ISP's AS number is like 390,000. Their AS number is like 40 or something. They're one of the first. They're really old. They shut it down. And they shut it down, and they politely say over email, this service violates our AUP. We will not elaborate further. The guy even said, I've worked here for 20 years. I've never seen this before. I cannot explain more. That's it. That's all we get. Here is the catch with this, is that our ISP was based in Liberty Lake, Washington. Washington is one of 2 states in the entire country, the other being Texas, that has net neutrality. Texas's net neutrality is currently tied up in courts, and Washington's is not. However, the issue with Washington's net neutrality is that in order to bring forth a net neutrality complaint, you have to go through the Attorney General. And you have to compel a man, a lifelong committed liberal Democrat from the city of Seattle and Washington State, to bring forth a government complaint to Hurricane Electric for their censorship of the internet. So Incognet, which is our ISP, has filed a complaint with the AGO. Their ISP, Crunchbits, has filed a complaint with the AGO, and I am preparing to file a complaint with the AGO as well. And I'm going to see if I can get my attorney to file a complaint for me with proper official letterhead and everything. And we'll see what happens, because I really don't know. It's literally uncharted territory. This law has never been enforced ever in its history. It's brand new. The other one in Texas is tied up in the Supreme Court or something. It's not going to be usable for a while. And technically, under the law, we are equitable. We get equal enforcement. And if he refuses to bring forth a suit, I can sue the Attorney General. I can ask for what's called a memandus. I believe it's how it's said. It's Latin for literally we order it. And I can ask the court to order the Attorney General to enforce its laws fairly. Because I've read through the law. It's very simple. And it basically just says this: if you're an ISP, you may under no circumstances degrade service or cancel service for any legal customer in the state of Washington. So that's just how it is. And I'm going to pursue it because this is ridiculous. What's crazy is that the complaints that we get aren't even like, they show no content from the site. It's literally just, and this is the cathedral in action. It's literally just a link to the Wikipedia page. And all it says is, this is a very bad site. Here's their Wikipedia page. It's been deplatformed everywhere else. Here's a statement from Cloudflare saying that they deplatformed it. Therefore, we expect that you will deplatform this as well. Thank you. And it works. That's all it is. It's like the simplest complaint in the entire world. And for whatever reason, it has caused a level of unprecedented clamping down on a shitty little forum without actually linking to anything on the site at all. They just take this at this word. Oh, Wikipedia says it's a bad site. Therefore, it doesn't get to exist. That's all it is. Which is why the internet should be regulated as a common carrier. Because Hurricane Electric should not be looking at a complaint like this. There shouldn't be a secretary reading a Wikipedia page, making a judgment call off of that. They should be able to say, I can't take down this website because it's not legal for me to do it. And if you believe it is illegal, you should take it to the police. And I don't understand why it's not like that. The only common carrier protections in the entire country are for landlines. And when we passed these laws, it was like the 40s, the 30s and the 40s when Bell was a telephone company. And now we have the internet, we have mobile phones, and we've never brought common carrier protections to mobile phones, mobile internet, or the internet in general. So it's just baffling to me. I never could have imagined, even years ago when like the deplatforming stuff was happening, I'm like, they're not going to get like Hurricane Electric to censor. They're not gonna get Cloudflare to censor. Like that's as un-American as it gets, and yet it keeps happening, and it's literally happening for the first time ever. That's the crazy thing. It's not like this is precedented, because it's not. this is the new people in these companies who have been given the keys to one of the most important inventions, if not the most important invention in human history, which is the simultaneous, instantaneous connection of every human being on the planet to each other. We've given them the keys to handle this gift that the last generation created, that some of the best and brightest minds of, you know, Europe and America created together. And they drive it like a ignorant teenager borrowing dad's car for the first time. They go, it's not my car, so who cares if I fuck it up, you know? It's just reckless disregard for the principles and ideas that built the thing that they have somehow gained access to. It's a little bit disappointing, but as I've said before, it's not illegal, so I'm just going to keep doing it forever. I will continually find new providers. If it gets bad, like, I can just chop up the site into different parts, or I can rebrand it. I can do all sorts of stuff. I have all sorts of stuff that I can do that I've not even attempted. Like right now, I'm still going through every internet service provider on the planet. And then I will get litigious. I will not stop pursuing this shit in Seattle. I have a right to stay online in Seattle, in Washington. And then when Texas anti-censorship law is done being litigated, I'll probably set up shop there too. And if they take me down there, I'll sue them too. And I will just do this forever. The hard thing is just trying to organize it all. Like there's so much that I personally have to deal with. And it's very hard. I can't really share the burden with anyone. Like the stack for the Kiwi farms right now contains like 6 different dedicated servers and as many data centers across the world. And then if anything in that breaks, you know, I have to fix it. I'm fleshing out like a DDoS mitigation thing. I'm juggling a lot all at once. And then I also have to keep up like the DNS. I have to do my own DNS. I have to, and I'm very thankful for what does stay up right now. I'll give you an example. Right now we're on kiwifarms.pl. And the reason why I switched it to .pl is because right now we're currently, our entry point to the public internet is a pretty sizable ISP in Poland called Host Team. It's weird. It's like Host Team, but with only one T. And it's just some Polish company. I have never spoken with them. I have no idea who they are. I've never dealt with them. And somehow they keep us online. And I really don't, I pay them like $50 a month for my VPS. And they don't send me any complaints. They never ask me for anything. And I really just don't get it. I don't know what they're doing. I don't know why they don't care. I'm a little bit like, I'm very nervous about that situation because I don't know what the fuck is going on in Poland. But there's at least one person in Poland who is taking complaints and burning them, because hosting was also the only one that didn't drop kiwifarms.net way back when. So I'm very, very disappointed. I'm kind of taken aback by like Hurricane Electric dropping us, because now Hurricane Electric it's like with Cloudflare. It's like Hurricane Electric is so respected in the industry that Hurricane Electric dropping us is like, it's a serious indictment, because now you can just point to Cloudflare and Hurricane Electric has dropped Kiwi farms. And to most people who are lazy and insipid and craven, they will see Hurricane Electric and Cloudflare, two of the largest technology companies in the entire world that have ever existed, two of the largest companies that have ever existed, period, in human history, drop the Kiwi farms. And they're reputable, and they're known for being very content neutral. So if they drop the Kiwi farms, oh my God, it must be like a 24/7 neo-Nazi rape and murder fest over there. Like, it must be the worst place that's ever been existed. Meanwhile, you know, Stormfront is up. The Daily Stormer's on fucking Google Cloud. I guess I should try Google Cloud next. You have, you know, the animal torture image boards. You have all these sites dedicated to softcore child pornography that are on the ClearNet. And you just have all this awful stuff that transit through HE, and they transit over Cloudflare, and they stay up, and nobody gives a fuck. And for whatever reasons, it's the Kiwi farms. And nobody has ever really sat down and explained what the fuck is happening. Nobody has. I've never heard anybody explain what the fuck is happening, except that apparently there's enough people in tech who really hate the Kiwi farms. And by the way, one of the first things I want to point out is this guy. His name is Patrick W. Gilmore. Someone pointed out to me that he made this tweet saying, "Why do you think any company has to provide a platform for speech? My understanding is that HENet has a First Amendment right not to carry your content legally protected or not. I'm not a lawyer. Perhaps someone like bad legal takes or U.S. consent or amend one could educate both of us." This guy sounds like a nobody. He has a fucking pronouns in his name. Who could he possibly be? If you look up his LinkedIn, he's not just some guy. Number one, he is a UCLA member. He was a former chief network architect of Akamai, or Akamai, I don't know how you pronounce it, which is one of the largest content distribution networks in the entire world. Like if you watch streaming video on any platform that's not Google or Facebook, chances are the video is coming off of Akamai. He was a former board member of Aaron, which is scary to me because Aaron is the RIR of North America. Who allocates IP addresses that I'm broadcasting? Aaron does. So this guy sat on the board of one of the most important organizations in the entire world, the people who control IP addresses in the United States. And he doesn't believe that private companies have any responsibility whatsoever to tolerate things that are illegal, but that they disagree with. He is a member of the Seattle Internet Exchange, which is very pertinent because that's what this takes place in. That's why he's even responding to it. And IX is when you have a bunch of ISPs in one data center or in data centers near each other, they join what's called an internet exchange, and they all physically connect to each other and provide free transit to one another. They're very important, and the one in Seattle is one of the largest in the entire company. So he is involved with the IX that this takes place in, and he says that every data center, every ISP in Seattle should be able to deplatform whoever the fuck he wants. He's a current board member of the Seattle IX, and he's the co-founder of PeeringDB, which is the tool that Liz Fong Jones and others use to find our ISPs. It maps out basically how the internet's laid out. You put in an ASN, you'll find out all their IP addresses and all the upstreams they have. Makes it very nice and easy for you to figure out exactly who to send your complaints to and who to terrorize to try and get shit taken down. And he is also the current full-time managing network engineer of Meta. Or Meta, I don't know how you pronounce it, but he's one of the most important people in the entire industry. This guy is like at the very tippy top of Facebook's parent company, mapping out the internet. And he looks at one of the largest companies in the entire world, hacking off parts of the internet because he doesn't like what's being said on that part of the internet. And he goes, yeah, this is fine. In fact, it's not just like one casual tweet. He went through and he liked a bunch of shit directly related to Drop Kiwifarms. This is him responding directly to a Sincere, the 50-year-old tranny who plays Fallout 76 for 16,000 hours. Actually, this guy in particular is responding to Cord Kitty, who's like a pedophile furry, responding to a granny tranny with 16,000 hours in Fallout 76 that he got banned from because he's such a piece of shit. And this is who one of the most important people in the entire country, in the entire world as far as the internet is concerned, backs. And it's like, how? How did we allow it to become this? How did we allow these people to take the nerd's gift to mankind and twist it? This man wants the internet to be a private walled garden where he and his little business buddies can erect a fucking pearly gate that only very select few can enter. Only Meta should be allowed to have the internet. There should only be Instagrams and Facebooks and Twitters. Small businesses that want to plug in to the internet, sorry, buddy, there's like 3 ISPs that actually put you on the internet these days. And they get to do whatever the fuck they want. And in fact, I'm a board member of every single internet organization that's involved in the dispute, and I don't like you. So it's called the First Amendment, buddy. Look it up. It's called my right to associate. My right to associate you out the fucking door, retard. Don't like it? Build your own internet, faggot. It's intolerable. So that is the update. Right now the site is up and there's an infinite number of ISPs that continue doing this. But I will absolutely, I don't care if it bankrupts me. I will fucking sue the Attorney General if he doesn't. The Hurricane Electric has violated my rights as a business doing business in Seattle to be on the internet. They have broken the law. I have requested that the State Attorney General of Washington, or I will request, my ISPs have requested for me already, have requested that my rights be enforced and their rights be enforced, because they as ISPs have been prohibited from exercising their rights of promoting whatever content they want to. And if they don't enforce it, I have no choice. I have to pursue it in court, because what am I going to do? Just allow this to happen forever? This is the first time where I actually have recourse. And the only way that the Attorney General of Washington could say that the law doesn't apply here is to say that Section 230 overrides it. He could try to make an argument, HE certainly would, that his own state laws don't fucking matter because federal law overrides it, which would be an interesting argument for the state to make. I don't have to enforce this law because I don't actually believe that it exists. I don't know. It is what it is. Tor is up, and I know that right now the shitty thing is that Tor is not reliable. It is up, so if you get like a disconnected message, just restart Tor. There's like a couple nodes that are bad or something, but it will go up. And here's the real kicker. I do have a plan for actually getting the site back up properly on my IPs. I'm just waiting for it to happen, and when it comes up, you will be able to connect to it even if we're off the internet, even if the big ISPs won't put us on. If you just take the Tor browser and you try to connect to the domain, it'll work no matter what, because of like I've talked about this before, but the Tor browser can find a route even if there isn't a direct route from your computer. It's intelligent. So I just want to remind people that soon, if something happens, you will still be able to connect to it through Tor, even if it's over ClearNet. It is internet magic, basically. Because what it does is it just asks all the different guard nodes, can you connect to this website? And it just picks one that says yes. So it's very robust and being able to find, because it's built that way to get over internet censors. Like you try to connect to, whatever website from China and says, sorry, you can't connect to that IP address. It's banned in China. Well, you connect to Tor and then it finds a way around the Great Firewall, which is effectively what I'm doing. I'm going to have to find a way to let people connect to my website around a privatized Great Firewall. It's a private company toll firewall, basically. You're gonna have to behave like a criminal to get to it. And in case you need like a little reminder of how to connect to Tor, I found a nice little song so to help you remember it. So this is how you connect to the site moving forward.
It's fly on the wall .buzz/truth. First reconfigure your DNS server, then download a VPN and get the Tor browser.
It's too much work.
Someone sent that to me. That is a real clip. That is from Family Guy. I don't know. Maybe there's a huge fan of the Kiwi Farms on Family Guy. So on the Kiwi Farms, I've made a new board called The Situation. If you scroll all the way down until you see the sextant, that'll be the new board. I'll just show it to you, actually. This is the site. Scroll all the way down to The Situation. Click it. These are, I'm going to make threads of outstanding issues that the forum is facing that I will probably need third-party help to resolve. And right now, the situation is primarily two things, and I'm accepting input on both of these. I am still looking for a registered agent. It's a big question because it's balancing three different things. I need a person to actually do it. I need a state that has laws compatible with the Kiwi Farms, which is a difficult ask because we have locales that do really gross stuff. They draw gross stuff. They film themselves doing gross stuff, and there's limited states that have permissive laws on all the content the Kiwi Farms hosts. Even though, like, we do generally, everything that we do, we have a critical use for, so we have carve-outs. I don't want to risk it, so I'm just trying to stay in states that would be more permissive towards all the elements of free speech that we utilize. The other issue is that banking issue. And I mentioned this before, that I'm looking for a bank that would not deplatform us and is also either on FedNow or planning to get on FedNow. And there are two considerations with this. There are banks that are set up to be deplatforming resistant. None of them use FedNow. And someone suggested I didn't even know that this existed, but there are two publicly owned banks in the US. The Bank of North Dakota is owned by the state of North Dakota. And the Territorial Bank of American Samoa is also owned by the Pacific Island of American Samoa. So theoretically, if a resident of North Dakota or American Samoa is trustworthy enough for me to sign my name next to and wants to open a bank account and be a controller of this account and just wait and see if these banks, Samoa is how you pronounce Samoa. That's how they pronounce it. It's pronounced Samoa. But theoretically, if you are from North Dakota and you have a clean record, and I can trust you with a bank account. It won't be the same as a registered agent. You won't be public, I don't think. But you should be ready for the risk. But I don't think it'll be public. I have to trust you, and you have to trust me like your social security number for the purposes of opening the account. And you'll have to be in the state of North Dakota, so that the bank will actually allow us to have an account. And then hopefully sometime in the future, Bank of North Dakota will have FedNow, and they'll be able to receive deposits. Or if you know a bank that is platform resistant that you actually can talk to, that's not just like, well, I like my credit union. Like if you actually can talk to them and confirm that they are willing to take it on and that they plan to be on FedNow, do let me know in the threads. As far as the LLCs go, I'm going to have to do more research into what states I'm precisely looking for. But to be a registered agent, I would ask that you not be a felon, because I want you to be armed. You need to have a gun, because people will come to your house. You will be swatted. They will go after you. If you have family that they can find, they will go after your family as well. So you have to have your own land, like whatever you want to use as the address for the registered agent thing, you have to own, because if you rent, you'll be kicked out. Your lease will be terminated. And it's just, I know it's a huge ask. I know it's a big pain in the ass, but I can't do everything by myself anymore. Like, the problems that I'm facing are unprecedented. Nobody on the planet Earth has issues registering a company, has issues finding a bank. Banking is becoming a more serious problem, but I'm attempting something new. I'm going to be the first person to use FedNow to get around debanking issues. So I'm looking for the Bank of North Dakota or anything that I don't, privately owned banks that are owned by people who have the balls to say, we're gonna platform you. We're going to allow people to use FedNow to send you money, and we're gonna eat the shit that we have to eat to keep you up. And then for the registered agent, it's like, I need somebody who's actually who can scan my mail, and deal with all the other bullshit attached to it. Yeah, all this for a drama site. But it's like I say, you know, it is almost because the Kiwi Farms is so petty and silly that it feels necessary. Because if something silly can't exist, if something silly doesn't have a right to live, then serious things don't stand a fucking chance. Serious things that actually impact people and change the course of things don't stand a fucking chance if the precedent is allowed to sit. And eventually what's going to happen is, if I do find a way, I am going to dig in my heels, and I'm going to find a way to elevate other people as well. I'm really dead serious about the nonprofit thing. Eventually, once I find a way to make it work with what I have, I will dig in and I will make it work for other people too. So, and that's part of the reason why trannies like Liz Long Jones are so dedicated to trying to take down the site, because they know. He described it like a virus or a bacteria before. Like, Keffels was just sort of like a low dose of antibiotics, and it didn't kill the site. And as a result, the site was much stronger for a period of time, which is why Liz Fong Jones took it upon himself to double, triple, quadruple down to truly try and eradicate the forum from existence, because he knows that if I'm allowed to put in my roots, make contacts, network with people, and set up something serious, it's over. You'll never be able to take down the site, and who knows what else I'll end up hosting, and allow people to host with me. That would be antithetical to his hobby of rape. So that is the thought. My poster here, if you want to read through them, I'll try to add and expand and put down maps of what states I'm looking at over time. If you'd like to offer suggestions, you can post it there. You can just email me. I know that I've gotten offers before. If you want to email me again with your offer, if you are really serious about it, let me know. And I am also, once I have so much to do. And like I mentioned, that my streaming chat is like fucked up now. I have multiple projects that I'm working on. I have the Nginx module that's written in C. I have the Rust module for the anti-DDoS thing that's written in Rust. I have my stream chat. I'm ending up. I have more ideas for how to make my anti-DDoS thing work better at integrating with other servers. And I intend to open source these eventually. So eventually I will open up like a Git repository, and I would like to network with people who know how to code. And when that happens, I would really like. I have like two people who are C engineers right now. One, I don't want to spoil it, but he's pretty cool. He works for a pretty large company, and it's nice to talk to him about stuff. But I would like to network with people and eventually have like an actual team to further my ideas, because I'm constantly having to juggle my projects, and I would like something more permanent so I can relax every so often. But such is life.